Hey guys, what's going on? Had a request to do an intraday comparison between LuxAlgo and LuxAlgo, so I thought I'd do that just now. Let's have a look and see what works better. Let's see if LuxAlgo is better on the 1 minute SPY or if LuxAlgo is better on the 1 minute SPY. And then let's try and look at some maybe like the 5 and the 10 minute time frame, which may be a little bit tedious, but it's worth checking out before you make a decision whether you want to buy LuxAlgo or LuxAlgo. Personally, I've done better with Lux so far. So here are my results over the last couple of weeks with Lux. 75% win rate, $10,000 profit. Elite, I've just started, so it's hard to make a call. Roughly break even. So I'm not saying one is better than the other. I already did a video comparing the swing trading daily charts, and it looked like they were roughly the same. So the signals are slightly different, but there wasn't anything that was obviously like a lot better or a lot worse. So let's have a look at the shorter time frames intraday. So what I've done is pick a couple of charts. So basically SPY 1 minute up the top here in TradingView. Make sure to check out the LuxAlgo Premium review in the description below. You'll get the coupon code and my referral link, which gives you the best possible price you'll find. You can get like 3 months of this thing for $100 if you use the link and the coupon code right here in this article, which you'll find in the description below. Check out LuxAlgo too. I'm starting a review on that and keeping it up to date and try and add in a lot of these videos that I'm doing and what I find out about LuxAlgo. So hopefully next week I'll be able to do a lot more trades on LuxAlgo as well. But let's see what would have happened over the last week if I'd used Elite versus LuxAlgo. So this looks a bit messy. It's Elite and Lux superimposed. So I'm going to start with LuxAlgo. So just get rid of those. So for you guys that are new to this, this is LuxAlgo. So get familiar with what these symbols look like. They're just little rectangles with pointy arrows, which mean buy or sell in this case. So very simple. The thing here though is one thing you'd hope to capture. This is just a random, like I haven't set this up in any way, I've just picked a random slice. I think this is Friday. Let's see, yeah, it's part of Friday. It's like a Friday afternoon. We can look at a bit more as well. So basically, if you look through these signals, a lot of them work pretty well, right? So these are the sell signals. It went down, always good. Of course, the timing is when to get out, and that's the key. And that's what I've been talking about in a lot of these different videos. So buy didn't work, and there's a reason for that. It's because it was below the smart trail, which I've superimposed on here as well. So in a second, I'll show you what would happen if we applied the filter to get rid of that smart trail as well. One thing to note here is I'm putting this on autopilot, which means it's choosing what it thinks is the best sensitivity of number of signals and everything like that. So to give a fair comparison, I'm putting both of them on short-term autopilot so that you can see like what you do without tailoring it to your own particular style. So looking here, you can see there's a short here. It worked a bit, and typically I'm taking 10% on these things, so I'm not trying to make 100%. I'm just trying to scalp, which is what you want to do on the 1 minute SPY with 0 DTE options, right? You want to scalp these things. This one worked, this one worked. This one was the one I was hoping it would catch, right? Because you'd hope that it would catch a big bull run like this, and LuxAlgo does really nicely on the 1 minute. There's a bit of chop here, probably wouldn't make much on this stuff. This sell here could have done pretty well down to here. So overall, LuxAlgo, pretty impressive, especially capturing this big move, because that's what you want to capture the most. Before we move on to LuxAlgo's version of this, I just want to show you what happens when I apply the filter that you should probably apply if you're trading this, in my opinion, the smart trail. You don't want to be taking the bullish signals when you're below the bearish smart trail, and you don't want to be taking short signals when you're above the bullish smart trail, right? You go with the trend. So if we switch the LuxAlgo to the filter up here, which is smart trail filter, it gets rid of those contrarian signals. So you can see that the green signals under the bearish cloud have disappeared, and we're left with basically the bullish signals here. So that kind of makes sense. What's interesting here though is it doesn't capture this signal, I guess because the green signal, it did actually start a little early on here. So let's go back. This is pretty interesting. So let's turn the smart trail filter off. So without the smart trail filter, you probably wouldn't have got into this, because let's face it, we probably would have thought this was a rejection. Now let's bear that in mind when we look at what the LuxAlgo signal would have said, because to give a fair comparison, I think it's important that this smart trail filter is on, right? Because that's one of the rules I've used, and it's probably a smart rule to use overall for best signals. So let's leave LuxAlgo like this. It's disappointing it didn't actually pick up this run when you don't include this last move. Because let's face it, you'd think a rejection off the bear cloud, a rejection off the bear cloud. You'd also probably be thinking rejection off the bear cloud here. So yeah, there's a chance though as this flip that you would still get into a long here without the filter on. But let's try and be fair here and see what Elite Algo would produce with similar settings. So I'm going to switch on Elite Algo, which will superimpose. So just kind of showing you, I'm going to switch it on and off a few times. You can see the Elite Algo has much bigger rectangle boxes, and it usually says the word smart buy or sell. So that's how you tell the difference between LuxAlgo, which doesn't have any words in the boxes, it just has triangles and plus signs, and Elite Algo, which has words smart buy and sell. So first thing I notice is they're not too different. There is a difference in this section where we do have a sell here, which we don't on LuxAlgo, so you maybe would have caught some move here. There are, however, smart buys still in here, which would have been small moves. But again, it's not taking into account the fact that you are in downwards trend. So it's sort of catching the waves, I guess, kind of how you think of it. This smart buy, because it doesn't care that we're below this bear trend, would have caught the whole move up. So I guess that's a plus. The thing with Elite Algo though is you can't actually make it so that, as far as I know, you can't make it so you filter out stuff that's against the trend so easily, right? So there isn't like a smart trail like there is on LuxAlgo. So you get more signals generally, which is good and bad. So you definitely get some more buys here. Okay. Sell signals are pretty much aligned with Elite. I guess the sell is a little bit early on Elite. So far Elite is actually doing a little bit better on these settings. Especially if you consider that if you were following just the signals on Elite, you would have caught this all the way up to here. So overall, so far I'd say Elite might actually be taking a little bit of a win here unless you turned off the smart trail on Lux. So let's see. So this is Elite Algo alone, then this is Lux. So really, there's not a whole lot of difference, but I would say definitely signals overlapping on a buy here, you can see that. Interesting. So in this case, actually you'd have done better with Elite. So let's turn Elite off. The problem is you have to kind of then be like, okay, well, I'm going to ignore trend stuff, right? So that's just Lux, and this is just Elite. So looking at Elite by itself, this signal would have been a quick scalp. Again, this is because it's 1 minute SPY. You'd be doing these on fairly quick scalps. You're not going to be holding these. So you'd hope that you'd get at least 10% on this little drop on a 0 DTE or 1 DTE SPY option put, and then you would take your profits. Horrible bounce back, sell again, buy works, sell works. This is the money shot though, this one right here. And then we have a really nice sell here. Let's have a look at LuxAlgo again. So I'll switch off this. This is LuxAlgo. Yeah, I mean on this particular filter, LuxAlgo underperforms Elite Algo on the 1 minute SPY. Let's turn off the smart trail filter on Lux and see if it's actually hindering us in this case. So smart trail filter is going to be off, which means we don't care about the trend. So without that, it does actually, let's get rid of the actual smart trail as well, just to make it more easy for you guys to see. I know these things can be kind of hard to follow on video, especially if it's not very high res video. So this is LuxAlgo alone. Doesn't do a bad job at all. It's actually detrimental in this case to turn on the smart trail filter and go with the trend. In this particular case, it does a much better job without that. So one more time, let's look at Lux without a filter and Elite without a filter. They match up a lot better. You can see the signals flashing on and off. Still, Lux captures a bigger move on that big run in the middle of the screen. You're getting a little earlier. Maybe doesn't make much of a difference though, because remember you have to wait until the candle closes to get in. It's a little bit later on some signals. They overlap perfectly on a couple of signals in particular this sell signal right here and this sell signal right here, I think. So yeah, you can see that. Overall, not a huge difference though, but the power in these systems don't come from just the sell and the buy signals though. It's how you set up your exit signals and how you manage the trades and find what works for you. So while this is an interesting exercise, checking these things out, it's not the be all and end all. Let's have a quick look though, just like pick another random section, say like here, and zoom out, compress the y-axis. Hard with so many signals to see what's going on sometimes. So let's just close off. This is Lux. This is Elite. You can see a lot more signals overlap or are very close to each other. Interesting. So that's a 1 minute time frame. Everything works pretty well in a 1 minute time frame. Let's go to the 5. I know a lot of people like to use the 5. Hopefully there's less signals. Let's go back to where it was less crowded. It seemed less crowded in this section. Just don't want to keep like having to look at a million signals all at once. So let's just do the Friday afternoon again on the 5 minute chart. Hopefully this is helpful and not too boring. I think one thing I might do is like a live stream on this where you guys can interact and just be like, hey, show me this, show me that. Because it becomes kind of hard to show this type of thing. Just, you know, me giving a monologue on this stuff. So the 5 minute chart, let's look at them individually again. The Lux Algo does a pretty good job. Pretty nice. Kind of flapping around. It catches this again. It's a little bit of a short and then a nice slow uptrend into the close. So it does a decent job. Let's look at the Elite Algo individually. So if we turn off the signals for Lux, turn on Elite. Remember, it's these ones with the words. Not quite as good a job on the 5 minute here. We don't have a sell signal up on this run here, which might not be the end of the world, but it's interesting. Sell, buy, which is good. Sell, buy, which is good. Buy, sell. So it's still capturing a lot of the moves. So they're both pretty good. I'd say on the 5 minute here in this particular case though, LuxAlgo is just a little bit better. It's giving you a little bit more information. Like these crosses are take profits on the LuxAlgo, which I'm not seeing a sell or any take profits on this nice up signal on Elite Algo. So interesting. Signals are a little bit staggered. They're not quite as congruent with each other as the other 1 minute chart. Still looking pretty good though. Alright, one last one. Let's look at the... Any of you guys do like the 1 hour? I never trade on the 1 hour, but let's have a look and see how the 1 hour looks. It's a lot more chilled out, hopefully. Just look at like here. So this is from like Monday. This is not very many signals, which is interesting. So this is from like the whole month. So this is like the whole month of May on the 1 hour. And this is LuxAlgo, so you can see this would be like more swing trading again. So nice sell. This buy signal would have been a wash. This buy signal would be awesome. This sell signal would be awesome. And this buy signal would be awesome. That's cool. So let's look at Elite superimposed. Let's actually just look at Elite by itself. A lot more signals, smaller moves. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Interesting. So let's superimpose them. So you can see quite different on the 1 hour. Hard to say which one's better or worse. I would say Lux is calling the first downtrend nicely. They're both calling this move at the same time. Elite Algo is getting a little confused here and putting in an extra signal that doesn't really do much. More thrashing around on Elite Algo in this section than Lux as well. And they both kind of call the same downtrend roughly at the same time. I mean this level here. And they both call the uptrend roughly the same. Maybe Elite gets in a little early. Pretty interesting. Alright, I didn't mean to do 1 hour. I think 1 hour is too long. Let's do 15 minutes. Because like the last video I did was like a swing trading one. And so I wanted to do more intraday. So let's do one more in the 15 minutes, which would be considered more intraday. So let's look at some of these. So here's just LuxAlgo. pretty accurate, nice signals, doing what you'd hope. This is what you'd hope it would call right all the way down here, and this one as well, so that's good. So then let's look at just Elite Algo alone. Elite doesn't do as good a job here. It doesn't call this quite as cleanly. Like you might buy here, sell here, and I guess buy back in here. Then there's really no indication of what to do up here. It does call the sell here really nicely. Same sort of like horizontal movement. Nice buy here. Let's superimpose them. So that's both of them. Just Elite. So not really a huge difference. Again, occasionally they'll overlap like here and here. And then there's not a huge difference in the other signals either. So pretty interesting. Anyway, I hope this is helpful. I think the key here though is that these are just the bare signals on autopilot. The real power in these services like Lux and Elite Algo come from customizing the whole thing yourself. And that's done in all the different menus. So we have a quick look at the menus in Elite Indicator here. What you'd end up doing is putting in different signals. You can like filter out just particular signals. You can add in different things. I usually use like the fast trend cloud. And so you can use the fast trend cloud as well to exit or enter signals, to add confluence to the original buy and sell signals. And then there's all of these which I've yet to work through, and I'm planning to work through a lot of these in future videos to try and understand like how best to use Elite Algo in particular. I've already done it. If you follow the channel, you'll have seen like all my videos on Lux Algo Premium. And so I've put most of those videos down the bottom of one of my articles here, which I've done lots on. I've been really pretty obsessed with this over the last few weeks. And so you can find a lot of the different settings and things I've tried out in this article. Again, it's in the description below. And Elite Algo is still in that process. So far, I would say they're both really good. My preference is still Lux Algo. Let's see how Elite Algo stands up over the next week or two as I take actual trades with it and see how it works out. Alright guys, hopefully that was helpful, and I'll catch up with you in the next video.